People have been saying, Steve, please make this video. Please make the video. I need help. I don't know if I should sign up with debt settlement. What is this debt settlement all about? Will it hurt me? What can they do? What they can't do? Can I still get sued? What can I do? Can you please make a video about it? We trust you. Can you please do it? So in this video, if you're thinking about hiring a debt settlement company to get rid of your debt before signing anything, you need to know exactly what they can do and what they can't do and how it will affect your financial future and your credit, including whether you can get sued. I'm going to break it all down. Hi, my name is Stephen A. Williams. I've been helping my clients repair their credit, get out of debt, increase their scores since 2006. And today I'm going to tell you the truth about debt settlement companies. I'm going to break it down exactly on how these companies work, the process they follow, and the hard limits of what they are allowed to do so you can make an informed decision. I know that a lot of you are struggling and you got that credit card debt, you got other unsecured debt, payday loans, whatever it is. So now, the first thing is that they have an enrollment process where they're going to assess your debts. They're going to look at your balances. They want to know if they're charged off or not charged off the creditor, if it's debt collectors, or if it's the original creditor who still maintains the debt. They're going to look at your monthly payments so they can try to figure out the monthly payment program that you're going to be on. And now, before I move forward, I want to clarify what that monthly payment is all about, because a lot of people think that they're making monthly payments to their debts. No, it's going into an escrow account that is going to build up, and they're going to start making settlements to your creditors. And I'll go into more detail later, but there's a fee that's also attached to that. But the main thing is that you understand, because I've had a lot of people call me and they're like, I was making payments to them for a whole year and then they didn't pay off anything because they didn't settle anything. They're just building it up. It's a lot different if you had a lump sum and you made an offer and they told you what the fee was going to be. The next thing is negotiation. Depending on what company you're with, depending on how good they are with negotiation, you can expect about a 40 to 60% on the average balance. It depends a lot on the company's negotiation practices. What I've seen, where to get the debt to be at a lower amount for the settlement, is that you got to have that one-on-one with that attorney or that representative to really express your hardship. That's what really makes a difference, is that if that representative can get them to believe and understand your hardship, it really can make a difference on what type of a settlement offer you can get on the original balance. The next thing is that you have to sign a settlement agreement and set up, for the amount for your payments. But the thing is that it depends on what type of company you're going to be working with, but none of the companies are allowed to take your money up front for their services, for their fees. They can take payments to put into escrow to build up your account, but no company can take money for debt settlement until they actually make a settlement. The next thing is what debt settlement companies can do is they can negotiate with the creditor to reduce your balance. They can set up structured payment plans to save you money with a settlement. And they can give you advice on prioritizing your debts, on which ones to settle first. Like a lot of them will say, well, this is the one that is perhaps, more focused on going after you. Maybe we should focus on that one, get that one out the way, and then move on to the other ones. They can also provide you information on seeking out help if you're getting sued by the debt collector. And also get you information once the settlement is completed. They're supposed to give you the information to show, to prove that the settlement was made. The next thing is what debt settlement companies cannot do is they cannot guarantee results. Creditors make their own decision, or with their attorneys who are working for them, they make their own decisions on what amount they're going to accept. That's why it's very important to get with someone or a company that will understand how to deal with these companies and these attorneys, because if you think about it, their whole thing is, the person is lying. The person don't want to pay us, That's their whole thought process, and you have to be very well versed, very good at getting people to see the life, humanize the individual who is looking for a settlement. You got to get them to bring the humanization back into that individual rather than just this dollar amount that's sitting on the table. They cannot stop the interest rates, the late fees, and all of that stuff from building up. They cannot. It can continue to grow as long as that debt is unpaid. They cannot stop all creditor contacts. They can, if you get a power of attorney and it's a charged off account, then the cease and desist would work. But until that account has been charged off, they can still contact the individual unless something is put in place for them not to contact. Something else that they cannot do is that they cannot say that they're going to remove that negative information off of your credit reports when it's an original creditor, right? That it's going to happen. There's strategies. There's strategies on doing that, and I've talked about that in other videos, but the account itself is going to either have to be sold or settled, and even if it stays on there when it's settled, as long as they have the information on there correct, it won't hurt you anymore. But if you settle it and they had information on there incorrect, if it was the original creditor, there's ways that I've talked about on getting that removed. And then especially even when they've sold it to a debt collector, there's a way to get that removed because they took payment for that. The next thing is that they cannot prevent lawsuits. Just because you're with a debt settlement company does not mean that they can prevent you from getting sued. The creditors going to make their own decision. So here's the truth. Most debt settlement companies won't tell you. Debt settlement companies work to stop payments to your creditors. That can trigger collections, and in most cases it can trigger a lawsuit. If you get sued, your debt settlement company might give you some advice, but most of them will not be able to help you at all. So you would have a decision of either reaching out to a company like ours, or you could, if you seek an attorney to work on your behalf, because you're going to be you have a potential of getting sued. Another thing is that you need to understand what happens before you sign the contract is that they can't guarantee anything, but what they can guarantee is that they're going to, hopefully make the calls to try to settle your debt. They can't guarantee the amount that they're going to settle it for. They just cannot do that. And then another thing that you need to be aware of is that let's just say, for example, you had a $2,000 debt and they settled it for $1,000. You're not going to just pay $1,000. Most of those companies are going to charge you anywhere between 25 to 35%. So and they don't charge that on the $1,000. They charge it on the $2,000. So let's just say we'll meet in the middle, and it's $2,000 times you got another $500. So you would actually settle that $2,000 debt for $1,500, including their fee. This is what they do. This is the way that they charge. So you won't be frustrated. You'll understand exactly what the fees are. Some of the times they don't disclose them in a way that you would really truly understand it. I'm telling you right off the bat, it's going to be somewhere around that amount. And if you don't have that amount of money in your account, they're going to say that we can't settle the account because they're going to want to get paid. So, and that's what really frustrates a lot of people when dealing with debt settlement companies. Another thing that I've seen debt settlement companies do, and I want you to be very careful if they ever try to get you to do this, they try to get people to take other loans to pay their fee, and with the settlement and the fee together, maybe you only got $1,000, but they try to get you with this company to get a loan for $500. And I've actually seen people that had to come to us for debt settlement that actually had a debt settlement loan from a company that the debt settlement company signed them up with to be able to pay the settlement and their fee. So these companies, just so I could be clear with you, they had the money for the settlement in their escrow. They didn't have the money for the fees. And they had them get a loan from a company that they recommended to be able to pay their fee, which is, I don't agree with doing that. Debt settlement can be a tool. It's not something that's it's not a get out of debt quick fix. It's going to take some work. You're going to have some patience. You have to get into the mindset of what you're going to have to accomplish to be able to get yourself out of debt. It does work. It does definitely work. So if you need help with debt settlement, you can reach out to our company at thecreditrepairshop.com. The way that we handle it is we look at all of your debts. They must be charged off. If they're not charged off, you make that decision, and then at some point they're going to, depending on the type of account, within 6 months of no payments, they're going to charge off. What we suggest people do is save up money for the settlement. We do not do escrow, but we do verify funds, and we have an agreement that you sign. We don't charge up front, and as settlements are negotiated, we collect our fee also, and we do it for an overall fee. They do it per debt. We look at everything, so you'll know the full fee going into it. And again, we don't charge up front. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch video What Makes a Difference so you can see my 8-point validation process, my two-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. If you have debt collectors coming after you, if they're suing you, and this will also help with if you're in debt in our debt settlement program. If they're suing you, we have a service to submit a response to that lawsuit. And if you're not in debt settlement or you're just getting sued, you can go to summonsmaster.com to grab your to upload a PDF copy of your summons, and it will create a fully formatted summons response to every allegation and a defense to potentially win your case. If you have debt collectors just sending you letters, you can grab my 3-pack of letters that are free. Link is below here. Or you can go to summonsmaster.com, upload that debt collection letter. It'll create an exclusive certified debt validation letter to stop debt collectors in their track. We're not talking about just stopping, like a cease and desist contact or communications. That they can continue doing whatever they want to do. If you do that, they could just say, well, we're not going to, said cease and desist. It doesn't mean that we're going to cease collections. This exclusive certified debt validation is to get them to stop coming after you for the debt. There are certain documents and information that they must provide you when requested properly within the specified period of time that is marked on their document. If they don't provide that documentation to you, they have to cease collections. Thank you for your time. Subscribe to the channel. Post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com and creator and founder of SummonsMasterAI.com. Thank you. Or SummonsMaster.com. SummonsMaster.com. SummonsMaster AI, but SummonsMaster.com.